Baker is trying hard to put his life and marriage back together, whilst Poncherello investigates a multi-million-dollar heist on Chips later at 8 p.m. But first, it's the Thamesmen.
We're back.
Take two.
Take 1,000. How are you, George?
I'm all right. So, hello everyone. I'm George. I am in Los Angeles.
You had to think about that because you've just flown back in. I'm Alex, and I am in Dallas. I'm not in Colorado. Welcome to the Thamesmen, my dear friend. Welcome to the Thamesmen. What are we kicking off today?
Well, it's a curated week, and we did the promo for it, and this is a week of songs covered by Dylan songs covered by others with some history. So that's
I think if you're called Dylan, strangely enough, it's quite a creative name.
It is, because Dylan Thomas.
Yeah,
that's
one. Dylan from the Magic Roundabout.
Yeah, he was creative, wasn't he? Yeah, he played the guitar, didn't he?
There's
But I think that
Dylan.
he was probably. That's the one we're doing this week.
And
Matt Dillon.
And Dylan Thomas.
Yeah, we got that one nailed then. Good job, well done.
God.
Yes. So,
show our knowledge of the cultural.
Yeah, exactly.
Field.
Yeah, now, so we tried to make this like earlier this week. I was traveling. I was in Nashville. Alex is in Dallas, as he just said, and it was a complete and utter train wreck of technology, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, I'm almost tempted to see if there's any usable footage to turn it into a behind the scenes for our patrons or something like that. I haven't looked at the wreckage of that yet.
I'd hate, because we're using hotel Wi-Fi. I'd hate to know what's been.
Through that Wi-Fi?
Yeah, through that Wi-Fi in all these rooms, we might suddenly get some images behind us or something. Or something.
Well, like some ghost of some other smut that someone else has done. Yeah.
Oh, there was a guy, I'm not going to mention his name, Martin Harvey, when many years ago, on one of my first business trips, he said, meet me in the room, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll go down, whatever. So I did. I came to his room, and he was in the shower, and he goes, "Oh, I'll be there in a minute." I was like, whatever. And then I was on the TV, and there was one of these, if you watch for more than 10 seconds, you have to pay for it. One of these naughty, right? Obviously, I let it stay on for a good minute, and just before he came out, I turned it off. I came down to reception to hear him arguing about 2 days later. He had not watched like Dirty Country Nurses, and he was adamant about it. And he was still fuming. He had to pay all the money
for a bit of smut he never even got.
I never told him.
No, well, good job. I hope he doesn't subscribe. So yes. Well, anyway, but everyone else, you've got to subscribe. That's the cost of doing business here. Join in and subscribe, please. I came across an amazing channel the other day on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying you should step away from ours for any reason at all.
It's a bad idea, George, talk about other channels.
No, but it's amazing. There's this guy, right? There's this guy in England. I can't remember his name. And he's building a tunnel under his house.
Oh, I've
he's
seen
built
it.
a bunker, and he's building a garage for his DeLorean. And he lives on like a sort of English close. He's got like a just an average English house, and he's put a bunker in, a tunnel, and now he's building a garage for his DeLorean, which is going to rise up like a bat cave. And he's doing it. He's just doing it through subscribers. It's like, why can't we be building a bat cave?
Well, there's
subscribe.
In good British YouTube channel fashion, there's a Harry Dwyer. He's in the process of going around England in a miniature inflatable speedboat. And he's gone up to Scotland, and the fucking thing has got a big hole starting to sink. And that's after he had an English fire. He had an engine fire and everything. It's brilliant. Just absolutely fantastic.
We're just taking the safe route. We're sitting in hotel rooms listening to music.
Right. Who's pulled this week together?
Okay, this is day one. Day one of our Dylan Day One of Dylan cover, and this is Brian Parser, and with the help of Chris, our curator in Australia, who has put all this together. And we have some extensive notes, and we start the week we start the week with a double, a bonus. So stick around. So
Curator Weeks, for those who don't know, who just stumbled into this nightmare of a channel.
Yeah, right.
It's basically...
But before you leave, just subscribe,
Yeah,
okay?
but basically what it is, Curator Weeks are fashioned and curated by subscribers. So if there's an artist you really like, then they put their week together and write the notes, and it's a vast amount of work. So thank you, hand on heart, for everyone who's done this. And then Chris, again, hand on heart, thank you for all your work. He then helps shapes it up, and then we take about a year and a half to get round to it.
Exactly. So apologies for being rubbish.
Yeah. But we've decided we're going to step up the game, aren't we? We're going to try and...
Oh, don't you suddenly executive decision?
Yeah.
We're going to do more, are we? Because we've always said...
Yeah, we're trying to get back to 3 videos a week.
Okay, well, good. Well, this week, Curator Week, we're going to have 5 videos with bonuses, so we better bloody well get on with it.
So do we have any words? Let's have a look.
Shall I read them? Because they're big and long and they've got lots of words in them.
Not very good at reading.
Okay, well, we're going to start, from 1965, The Byrds and Mr. Tambourine Man. And this says, Bob Dylan wrote Mr. Tambourine Man in early 64, recording it several times between June 64 and January 65. One of the last recordings from January 65 was included on his Bring It All Back Home album, which was released in March of that year, 65. A new folk rock act called The Byrds was recording their debut album titled Mr. Tambourine Man in early 65, which included their cover version of the song too. The Byrds single was released in April 65, with the album being released in June 65. Blimey, there's a lot of dates here. It's like a history class. The Byrds leader, Roger Gwynn, has said over the years since then that he gave Dylan's song a J.S. Bach-inspired opening on his 12-string Rickenbacker guitar, along with Beatles-inspired backbeat, and that somehow that all turned into a hit. It wasn't just a hit, it was a massive hit worldwide, going to number 1 in both the US and the UK. Probably the most important thing about their cover, however, is that it is the song that inspired the jangly guitar sound in rock music and pop music ever since.
Wow.
Piece of history.
And there's this whole big... that's what's interesting about this week. In some way, Dylan songs, for me, are always better when they're covered than when Dylan does them.
I think there's going to be an argument about that one, but he is such a great songwriter that there's lots of room for variation, isn't there? So,
all right,
are you ready, sir?
I am. I'm just finding it. Here it is. Okay, The Byrds, Mr. Tambourine Man on the Ed Sullivan Show. What is Ed Sullivan?
Ed Sullivan was like one of the late night TV shows. He was like one of those guys who sat behind a desk and people would show up and they'd pitch their movie and play their tune. You know what I mean?
It was a talking horse.
Hello.
There was a talking horse, but that maybe it was the Ed Sullivan Show. Maybe that was the talking horse show.
They put peanut butter on the top lip.
Oh, was that Mr. No, I don't think
Ed the talking horse. I think
that's Ed the talking horse, not Ed Sullivan.
Well, maybe that was his full name.
Maybe that was his side job.
Look, he signed his contract with his hoof.
You want to do 3 videos a week? We've got to get on. So if you see a horse, you know who it is.
With peanut butter.
You do that very well. Should we get on?
Before we get into giggles,
people will be going, do you know how many minutes it's taken them? Well, we've started putting in the things down below, little markers. So if you want to jump,
so nearly there.
I was. Sorry. Okay, I'll get a carry. Okay, are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me.
Ha!
That was superb.
That was such a slice of time there, wasn't it? You know, that was...
Yeah, but you know what was
it.
so important about that time?
What's that?
That was it. After that, the world was very different. I mean, you brought the whole West Coast hippie to the scene.
Yeah.
Everyone says 69. Now, 69 was done. It was 66, 50, 65, 66. That was it. The world was never the same after that.
Well, what they said, like, wasn't like you remember Hunter S. Thompson saying like the '69 was like Woodstock and things was like the high water mark of that movement, and after that it descended into the sort of Nixon era and the Vietnam mess and all of those sort of things. It was definitely '65. You probably peak like cultural influence.
You could tell it hadn't been fully formed because they were wearing trash bags and cloaks.
It was a bit. Was it raining outside?
He probably just arrived on Ed the horse. So
it was his poncho. I tell you what, I do love that. Looking at like these, that was a great quality video as well. Like it had great resolution and stuff. But looking at how different the performances were then, where it was very static, and they're obviously lip syncing. They were nowhere near their microphones. And they you could take them home to your mother. They were kind of lovely, clean cut, nice polo necks, Now it'd be a very different story if you were like at the cutting edge of culture. You'd be doing something a bit more, radical.
I know.
But I suppose that was radical for the time.
It was radical for the time. But what an historically important track. And also, what a great version. You don't hear Dylan's version. You hear that?
No, you don't. I was thinking exactly the same thing. I was thinking you wouldn't think this was Dylan, But actually, though, then you actually get past that sort of the niceness of it. You listen to the lyrics, then you go, okay, there's some more depth to it here than just a nice little pop song.
I don't know. I heard that Ike Turner came out with Tambourine Man before from going to the Byrds concert and illegally recording it because they were gigging that track before they released it and managed to get a copy out before. But that's the version that everyone remembers.
It's kind of really interesting that everyone was copying everyone else.
Yeah.
Literally, like within months of someone releasing a single, someone else would do another version of it, and that seemed to be perfectly acceptable behaviour in some regards. Or it was just like we've seen, what's that Wilson Pickett song we did, Hey Jude or whatever, was it Jude, was it which was with Dwayne Allman, which was absolutely mind-blowing track, but that was weeks or months after the original came out from the
really
Beatles.
Cover much more unless it's a country western version of an Erasure song, so it's got a bit of irony.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I suppose if you could cover, Bob Dylan was Americana folk, whatever, and then you do a sort of West Coast hippie version, who knows? So, but we've got a bonus, haven't we? And we've got even more notes.
All right, okay, the Byrds, you ain't going nowhere. This wheel's on fire. What have we got on the notes from that one?
Do you want me to read them again?
Let's
see. Pages of notes on this one. How are you feeling?
Is this it? No, that's totally the wrong.
that's tomorrow.
Oh my God, there's loads of notes. The Byrds had undergone massive changes since releasing Mr. Tambourine Man at 65. 3 of the founding members, including Cosby, has either been fired or left the band. The Byrds become a quartet after hiring a new drummer and new keyboards. The Byrds' record label, Columbia, was expecting a new album soon. One of the new guys, Graham Parsons. Oh, wow. Jesus.
And we've talked about Graham Parsons before, haven't we? And getting his body being burnt and stolen from the airport, then burnt in Joshua Tree.
We did.
But anyway, that's another whole rock and roll story, which is fantastic.
At the moment, he's a new guy.
and he's still alive and hasn't been burnt in the desert. Okay, carry on, yeah.
Anyway, the new guy who was alive, Graham Parsons, persuaded the other members and the band's manager that they ought to do is record a country-flavoured album. The Byrds went to Nashville, Tennessee to record songs for their next album, and additionally did recordings in LA. The resulting album was to be titled Sweetheart of the Rodeo. Oh, Jesus. What a cliche album name, Let's make a country western song called Sweetheart of the Rodeo. Anyway,
while you do that, I'm just going to sit back and drink my tea.
in the meantime, George had a cup of tea, and Bob Dylan had spent close to 15 months recuperating from his motorcycle accident. I've told you about it, haven't I? My dad doesn't think it's the same Bob Dylan.
Oh, has he done a Paul McCartney?
My dad said he completely changed, and it's not the same one. But there again, my dad was doing a lot of fucking marijuana back then. Bob Dylan, he spent 15 months recuperating from a bike accident in upstate New York between July 66 and October 67. He's writing dozens and dozens of songs with members of his backing band who had come to be known as The Band when they released their own debut album in 68. But with Dylan not touring nor releasing an album for an extended period of time, Dylan's record company made demo recordings available to other artists on the label, including the Byrds. Two of Dylan's basement tapes that the Byrds recorded made into Sweetheart Rodeo album. The lead single is one. It is You Ain't Going Nowhere, and the other basement tape that the Byrds recorded titled was Wheels on Fire. This would end up on subsequent Byrds album in 69. It was co-written by Dylan and the band bassist Rick Danko. The bonus clip is from a Playboy After Hours show in 68. And, God blimey, I've got to move down.
Scroll.
I've got to quickly scroll and not, keep the continuation going and find out where I am, because I'm just quickly talking. And the bonus clip from a show in 68. The interview, just going to have a little break here at the moment.
Do you want me to carry on?
I'm kind of hanging in there. The interviewer at the beginning of the Playboy magazine founder and publisher, Hugh Hefner, by the way, you will not see Graham Parsons performing, as he already left the Byrds by the time Sweetheart of Rodeo was released in 68. Then he died and got burnt. Despite being a lack of commercial success, the Byrds album Sweetheart of Rodeo is considered to be a foundational bedrock for the country rock genre that offshoots, by extension, some of the last of several Bob Dylan songs.
Well done, well read that, man. Yes.
I now retire from any more notes, and we've got 5 days of these.
So did we get that? So Graham Parsons was in it, but he wasn't in it. And this was the Sweetheart of the Rodeo. So
yes.
Anyway, the track, just if we're not clear, is You Ain't Going Nowhere. And it's Los Angeles in 68, this performance.
All right.
So, yeah.
Count me in.
Are you ready, sir? 3, 2, 1, go.
I know that the kids would really enjoy having you do a couple of your numbers.
Oh, great.
We'll get you to do something.
Just happen to have my band all set up.
I just noticed them sitting over there, and I hope we might get them to do it.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, it's like a party.
Just like mine on Sunday night.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the band just having set up.
Clouds so swift, rain won't lift, gate won't close, railings froze. Get your mind off winter time, you ain't going nowhere. Ride me high, tomorrow's the day, my bride's gonna come. Oh, oh, we gonna fly down in the easy chair. I don't care how many letters they sent. The morning came, morning went. Pack up your money, pick up your tent. You ain't going nowhere. Ooh, ride me high. Tomorrow's the day, my bride's gonna come. Oh, oh, we gonna fly down in the easy chair. Buy me a flute and a gun that shoots, tailgates, substitutes. Strap yourself to a tree with roots. You you ain't going nowhere. Ooh-wee, right behind. Tomorrow's the day my bride's gonna come. Oh, are we gonna fly down in the easy chair? Oh, Genghis Khan, he could not keep all his kings supplied with sleep. We'll climb that hill, no matter how steep, when we get up to it. Ooh-wee, right behind. Tomorrow's the day my bride's gonna come. Oh, are we gonna fly down in the easy chair? Ooh-wee, right behind. Tomorrow's the day my bride's gonna come. Oh, are we gonna fly down in the easy chair?
We're getting 2 tracks.
It's going to move on if we're not careful.
Oh well, we can watch it. I think this wheel's
All right,
on fire.
let's do it.
Yeah, may as well do it. I like the sound of this one already.
If your memory serves you well, we were gonna meet again anyway. So I'm going to unpack all my things and sit before it gets too late. No man alive will comfort you with another tale to tell. And you know that we shall meet again if your memory serves you well. Fields on fire, rolling down the road. There's no dear find my next of kin. This wind shall explode. If your memory serves you well, you remember you're the one who called on him to call on me to get you your favors done. If I was sure that it was yours, but it was oh so hard to tell, then you know that we shall meet again if your memory serves you well. Fields on fire, rolling down the road. There's no dear find my next of kin. This wish shall explode.
Oh yeah.
If your memory serves you well, I'm gonna confiscate your leg and tie it up in a sailor's knot and hide it in your case. No man alive will comfort you with another tale to tell. And you know that we shall meet again if your memory serves you well. Wheels on fire, rolling down the road. There's no dear find my next of kin. This wish shall explode.
I like that.
Yeah, well, that was a track they were meant to be watching, right? Because that was the one that was written by Dylan.
They were both.
and Danko.
No, they're both written by Dylan.
They're
both.
God,
they were-
Jesus.
So the second one was co-written by the new bassist Danko, but they were both Dylan songs. Yes.
God.
So, but I tell you what, the second one was where country rock really worked for me. The Wheels on Fire. I thought that was like, I loved the sound of that. That was like, I've been listening recently to a psychedelic country album recently, and which is a weird sort of genre, but fantastic sounds. You know what I mean? It's a reminiscent of that.
What album was that? Think about it, because I've been listening to a bit of psychedelic country as well. I love that second track. It was a great version of it. The guitar work was absolutely fantastic in it as well. And that was great.
Yeah.
And I thank God we didn't have to dance back then. It looked exhausting.
That guy throwing his hands in the air was having a good old time, wasn't he? You know, it was.
He's probably, he would never get into a boy band. He'd be too flamboyant. I loved it. Absolutely right. Exceptional songwriting. Dylan. Well, I mean,
you could hear Dylan in those lyrics, though. Both those songs were even more Dylan-esque than Mr. Tambourine Man, I think.
I watched a film. It's on YouTube about the Travelling Wilburys and how they recorded a track a day in Bob Dylan's studio in LA.
Okay.
And Roy Orbison and Petty and obviously Harrison and
that's a ridiculous line.
Dylan was, and they were all co-writing the song, and the lyrics Dylan would throw out just throw out. It was just like they had the best voice in rock with Roy Orbison, and then they had the best lyricist, right? And then in the band was Harrison and Petty, and Jeff Lynne, absolutely fantastic. Anyway, Dylan. All I'm saying is Dylan. They were just in awe of Dylan. Those guys, the lyrics, he just rolls out.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So the album was the Rose City Band.
Oh, yes.
It was their latest album. What was it called? It's called Garden
Yes,
Party.
I've been listening to that as well.
I love that album. I really do. It just sort of suits a mood.
And for those who don't know the Rose City Band, it's a guy from from the Bay Area. He's also in Moon Duo and Ship. And Ship were the first band, who are much heavier, but the Rose City, absolutely fantastic, brilliant.
Yeah, really good stuff. Oh, that was really fun. So thank you, Brian. I love that footage of the penthouse party or whatever it was with Hugh Hefner, and just like the styles and the slightly interesting set where you just put a load of oscilloscopes up behind you to make it look like.
I think this week is going to be a theme, isn't it? That obviously it's themed. But
well, you noticed, did you?
No, but I think the comment's going to be is like, holy shit, what a songwriter! When you hear other musicians do it.
Yeah. Now, I suppose and we'll see. We'll just get started. Day one.
Well,
so
we know what's on day 2. We know what's on day 2. I nearly read the notes. He knows what's on day 2. I know what's on day 2. It's going to be a big one. So like, subscribe. See us hopefully tomorrow on Day 2.
And remember, we have 5 days, and then the 6th day is Patreon exclusive only. So if you want to follow through, join us on Patreon as well, please.
See you on the flip side.
See you on the flip side. Bye.